like to thank you and your team for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me today for our webinar, Tools for Trainers, Clinical Research Job Aids and Checklist. My name is Marla Helly, and I'm going to be your trainer today. A little bit about me. I have been in the clinical research industry for over 25 years now. I started out as a clinical research nurse, also have worked as a CRA, a clinical trial manager, and project manager for both sponsors and CROs. I am certified through ACRP as a CCRA as well as a project manager through PMI. I enjoy training because I like to share with my colleagues and individuals like yourself how we can improve in our clinical research practice as well as helping individuals grow as research professionals. We're going to look at the learning objectives for today's session. We're going to discuss the considerations for determining when a job aid is appropriate and incorporating into our training presentation, and when it can also stand alone to accomplish the desired training objective. We're also going to identify strategies for using tools and also objectives in our training programs across various audiences and venues. And then we're going to describe the elements of an effective job aid. So before we get started, I think it's important to look at how we learn as adult learners. And perhaps you are familiar with these 5 assumptions that one of the theorists on adult learning looked at. So looking at self-concept, because we know that we as adults are mature in our development, and also, when we look at how we have reached this development, we are more secure in our learning. And this allows for us as adults to be more active in our learning process and to be part of the directing process, which is excellent. We also have prior learning experience. So our past experiences as adults can be drawn upon in our learning, as opposed to a child who is still in that development process of gaining new experiences. We also can look at how we are more ready to learn. So as adults, we have reached this point in our development where we see the value of being educated and also the value of how we can use this learning to help us grow as professionals. Where children perhaps or younger adults or youth may still be in a process where learning may not be something that they're so ready to do. So perhaps they might not be as serious when it comes to learning. And also, too, we need to look at the practical reasons. So again, as I mentioned, we can see how this learning can be put back into how we can use this in our daily job or performance. So we can look at problem-centered approaches in our learning. We also can be driven through internal motives. So we are internally motivated versus a child who has these external motivators. So, for example, children may see a punishment if they have poor grades or a reward if they receive good grades. When we look at the definition of a job aid, we see that a job aid is this repository for information, that we can look at such things as a process or perspectives that can be external to us as the individual that would use that job aid, and also it can support us in our work. So it can do such things as direct us in perhaps steps or processes, or it could guide us in how we're going to do work. And we're going to look at these job aids today that actually do this, along with enlightening in our performance, or what I'd like to say, enhances our performance. And this was taken from 2 authors who have created a handbook of job aids. And so this is important to look at. And then also we need to compare this to training. And I think that this is important to compare and contrast when we look at training. We know that training is organized in the activity, and it's aimed at imparting information or instructions to help improve us as the learner in our performance or looking at the recipient's performance, and also to help us in how we can attain a required level of knowledge or skill. And so we can think back to the learning that we are doing today, that this is organized, we're going to have instruction, but yet I'm also going to help you in your performance. And so we're going to look at some more examples here. We also want to make sure that we look at the quality of our environment for how we learn.